Hi guys, today we're going to talk about the second book of the Aeneid. So where we left off last chapter, Aeneas was at the banquet that Dido and all the Carthaginians were throwing for him and his men. And Dido, having just been falling madly in love with Aeneas, asked him all about his previous life, the Trojan War, blah blah blah. And so now he's going to go over what happened in the Trojan War. So where we start off with is the Trojans finding the infamous Trojan horse and pulling it into their city. And they're seeing this as like this gift from the Greeks that's asking for like the ability to leave without being attacked, which is so stupid. Who thinks that? This chapter was painful to read. So they're bringing in this horse, and there are these couple people who are like, don't bring it in. Like, there's this guy whose name is pronounced Luaquan, I think, but it reads like Laocoon. It's spelled like this, and I'm just gonna call him Laocoon because it's so much easier. So Laocoon is this priest of Neptune, and he comes up and he's basically like, are you guys idiots? Don't bring this horse into our city. People could easily fit in there with weapons. He says exactly what they do. So they could fit in there with weapons. Why are we bringing this into our city? These guys are like, shut up, Laocoon. What do you know? And so they bring the horse in anyway because they're idiots. And then there's this guy named Sinon, who I think it's Sinon. Honestly, I'm making up all these pronunciations. His name is spelled like this. He's basically talking about how he goes on this long story that, like, I don't think it's important at all, but he basically talks about how he's abandoning the Greeks and he wants to help the Trojans because his boyhood best friend, but we know what that means in Greek stories, it was his boyfriend, was killed by Ulysses, who we think of nowadays as Odysseus. He's like, I'm on your side, bring this horse in, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he has a lot of purpose. He basically is convincing the Trojans to bring the horse in more than they already were. And later he's going to have a little bit of a role, but not much, later in the chapter. So they bring the horse into the city, they're like, heck you, Laocoon. Oh yeah, Sinon, you're the best. Because they're idiots. They're idiots. And so it's super dramatic, and they pull the horse, and it's like, they pull it 4 times on the concrete, and it stops, and it's supposed to be a sign, no, don't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so, remember, this whole chapter is just Aeneas talking. Like, all of it's Aeneas talking. There's a brief period where Aeneas is saying the things Sinon said, but it's all Aeneas, which must be so boring. But I guess he was, like, capturing the room or whatever. So they pull it in, and it's there, it's in Minerva's temple, and they're like, okay, we won this war, we're the best. And so they go to sleep. Well, they have a banquet, and then they're all drunk and full, so they go to sleep. And then Sinon comes out, and is like, Greeks, ready to party. And so all the Greeks come up. We flash to Laocoon, who is a priest of Neptune, and he's praying or something, and his 2 little sons are there. So there are these 2 snakes that sneak up on him, and they kill his sons, and like wrap around him, and choke him, and they come, and they like kill him, and they bite him. It's super graphic. The paragraph is like really intense. And there's this really famous statue that represents what happened here, and it is this statue. There. It's this statue. So then Laocoon dies, which is, I guess, is supposed to show how they came from like this island, like Juno. It's implied that Juno sent them, and it's kind of showing more how she's evil and how she's on the side of the Greeks. And the Greeks are the most evil people ever, and they are terrible. So then Laocoon dies, and then we flash to Aeneas, who talks about he's sleeping, and he sees Hector in his dream. And the thing that you need to know about the Trojan War and Hector at this time is that at the end of the Trojan War, Hector killed Achilles, who was on the Greek side. He killed Achilles' best friend. Most scholars are going to say they were lovers. His lover Patroclus, Achilles' lover Patroclus. Hector killed him because Patroclus went into battle pretending to be Achilles for reasons that are immensely interesting. And if you are interested in this, I recommend you read a book by Madeline Miller, whose first name is spelled the same as mine. It's called The Song of Achilles. It's one of the reasons I'm so interested in Greek mythology. But basically, Hector's killed Patroclus, and Achilles is not okay. And so after he kills Hector, spoiler alert, he drags him around, and he's very not respectful of the body, basically, because he is grieving a lot. So he drags Hector's body around and around in the back of a chariot, and so he's not only is he dead, but he's also like messed up, like he's all tight, he's all dirty, and he's ripped up, and it's bad. So this dirty and ripped up Hector is who Aeneas is seeing in his dream, and he says, "What are you doing here? We need you." And Hector is like, "Dude, if I couldn't save this city, and I'm the most baller fighter to ever live, you need to get out of here." Basically, tells him, "Flee the city." And so Aeneas wakes up, and he sees all the Greeks, and he's like, "Oh no." But he doesn't flee the city. He goes and he fights some, and then they come across these Greek soldiers who thinks Aeneas and these guys he come across are also Greek soldiers, and then they kill those Greek soldiers and take their stuff and pretend to be Greeks. And then they're fighting the Greeks, and for a bit they overtake them, but then eventually the Greeks win. And so then we flash to Priam, who is the king, and he's Hector's father. And you see him, it says he tries to put on his armor, but then Priam is super old, so it's like, that's not going to work out. And he picks up his, Virgil calls it his useless sword, so he picks it up, and then you see his wife, and his wife is like, "What the hell are you doing? You are old. This is not going to work out for you." And so he goes and he hides with his wife. And then you see Achilles' son, who has a couple names, but I'm going to call him Pyrrhus here, which I think is because he had red hair. And Pyrrhus means like fire in Latin. So Pyrrhus comes, and he's chasing after another of Priam's sons, and he kills him right before Priam's eyes, and Priam is like, "Hell no. Hell no. You were not going to kill my son before me and think that is okay." And he's like, "I don't care," and he kills Priam. He grabs him by his hair, and he like stabs him in the flank. And it makes you kind of wonder where Aeneas is during all of this, because he says it as if he's firsthand, but like, why doesn't he fight Pyrrhus and stop him from killing Priam? Aeneas, get your story straight. And then there's this brief moment where Aeneas sees Helen, who I can't explain the beginnings of the Trojan War right now. People blame her for the Trojan War. I personally do not think she was at fault, and I think that was a whole big deal. I'll relink to the Wikipedia about the Trojan War in the description, but she was not the cause of the Trojan War. But Aeneas sees her as the cause of the Trojan War, and so he's like, "Should I kill her? People would like that if I killed her," basically. But then he gets caught up in this raid and doesn't kill her. And his mother, Venus, comes to him and says, "You gotta get the hell out of Dodge." So Aeneas leaves and goes to where his father Anchises, his wife Creusa, and his son, whose names are Iulus and Ascanius, are. His son has two different names. I'm gonna call him Ascanius because Iulus is such a common sounding name. So he goes to his father, and his wife and son are ready to like leave. They're ready to pack up and go, and his father's like, "No, I won't go. I'll stay." And Aeneas is like, "Okay, I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave all you guys. Father, you're bringing all of our lives down with you." And his wife is like, "How could you do this to us?" And she gets on her knees as he's leaving, and he's like, he's strapped all his soldier stuff back on, and his wife, she's on her knees, and she's holding their son, and Ascanius, and she's like, "How could you do this? How could you leave us?" And then Aeneas reached down and holds the son of Ascanius as well, and they're holding it, and then suddenly there's like this like ring of fire around his head, which is so badass, but like, oh my god. And so there's this ring of fire that I think is supposed to represent like the future Julio-Claudian dynasty that is going to begin because of Iulus and the founding of Rome, blah blah blah, to go back to the propaganda idea of this book. But they're holding him, and he has the fire, and then Anchises is like, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna be coming with you guys. If that's what's going on, I'm coming with you." And so Aeneas says, "Okay, father, you get on my back. Ascanius, you're gonna be at my knees. I'm gonna hold on to your hand. Creusa, you follow a few steps behind." And they get to their place, and then he turns around, and he realizes Creusa is lost. And he's like, "How could I let this happen? Oh my god, she's my wife. I love her so much." Which I'm doubting the credibility of, because like, you told her to stay behind you. Like, you have another hand, buddy, but whatever. And so he takes Anchises and Ascanius and takes them to where the rest of the Trojans are, and then he goes back, he's finding Creusa, and Creusa basically tells him what Venus and Hector already told him, and it's Virgil lays it on a little thick. Proteus is like, "You've gotta go. If the gods had wanted me to live, I would live." And so Aeneas is like, "All right, my love, I will leave." And so Aeneas leaves, and he meets up with his father and his son, and the rest of the Trojans are there. And we end this chapter where they're basically like, "Okay, we're ready to leave. We've gotten as many people out. We're refugees from this attack, basically. And so we're going to go head out into the great unknown." And that's where we pick up next time with book 3 of the Aeneid called Landfalls, Ports of Call. I'll see you guys on Thursday.